All right, we're back at it with another banger here on Alaska's Ranch Scavenger Hunt Candidate Edition. We've tracked down.
Walter Featherly.
You're running a race to be a House representative, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Both sides of O'Malley Road.
Okay.
Hillside, Upper Hillside, and Lower Hillside.
Does that go all the way down to Abbott?
From Huffman on the south to Abbott on the north.
Awesome. Why are you running for this district? What do you think you can help change and improve for the future of Alaska right now, or Anchorage?
I'm a 58-year Alaska resident. I lived 25 years here on the hillside. I've worked all over the state, worked with companies and people all over the state. I know Alaska, I know Alaskans, and I know we can do better.
Awesome.
That's why I'm running.
Do you have a plan on how we can help fix the permanent fund dividend? It's in the news. It's all, it's in distress and it's failing. And is there any way to save the permanent fund? Do you have a plan for that, or is that?
I do. I have a short-term, medium-term, and long-term plan. Long-term, start with that. State of Alaska has 104 million acres. That was our grant at the time of statehood. It was specifically given to the state to develop the state, to develop the infrastructure, beginning with energy. We've failed to do that in 65 years since statehood. Now's the time to do it. In 10 years' time, I want to see Alaska electrified all over the state with cheap, reliable power. We have all of the resources to do it. Once we have cheap, reliable power for our homes, for our residences, and for our businesses, then we'll actually have the basis for industry, and industry will come to the state, and we'll see jobs, and we'll see fiscal certainty and fiscal revenue like we've never seen before. Depending upon the permanent fund, in order to fund state government, if that's our long-term plan, that's like you or me deciding we're just going to live off of our retirement savings for the rest of our working life. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to families or individuals, and it shouldn't make sense to the state of Alaska.
No, sir. That's actually a really great response. I like that one. Do you have any concerns on the carbon capturing plant? That just got passed through the Senate, right? The state claims it's going to help increase oil revenue, right?
Well, it would two parts to the carbon capture plan. Mainly what it is going to do is it's small in terms of revenue. It's going to be very small. It's not going to move the needle. Where it is going to come into play and where it is actually going to help is here in Cook Inlet by expanding the capture, the carbon storage areas that we have in Cook Inlet. It'll help even out the highs and the lows in the flow of gas that we have, and it'll help stabilize our gas sources for our heating and for electricity. Statewide, it's a good step. It'll help bring in some revenue through carbon capture and storage. The governor has a good plan, but it is just the tip of the iceberg. It's barely scratching the surface of putting to use the 104 million acres of lands that we have that are resource rich. The carbon storage is a good start, but it's not thinking big enough.
Do you think that the carbon storage, the carbon credits that come along that are going to be sort of imposed on Alaskans later on as a state tax, or do you think that's sort of just a myth that is going around right now?
I think that's a myth.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see that.
We haven't heard, we're just trying to understand, because when we look
Right.
up this information, right, we see, carbon credits, and carbon credits are a bad thing. So we're just trying to understand the future of Alaska. I feel like we need less taxes, not more taxes.
I know I'm an executive with one of the Alaska Native corporations, and I know the Alaska Native corporations, several of them, with their own lands, use carbon offset credit program to generate hundreds of millions of dollars just off of the lands that they own.
Oh, okay.
The state has even more timber lands than the Native Corporation has, so the potential is there that it takes the state of Alaska, the governor and the legislature working together to develop that potential and develop that program to its maximum potential. The potential is certainly there.
Awesome. Great. So we have a potential on leading future jobs and bringing back, employment to Alaska. Does that go side by side with our education reform that we're, school vouchers, all of that stuff? You,
Well, well, it certainly complements it, but it is not necessary. We can do better with our schools and our education right now with what we have. There is no excuse for the legislature failing to provide for the increase in in the BSA, the base student allocation, that is the mechanism that funds the schools in our state, the public schools in our state. The legislature failed by one vote to pass SB 174 that would have provided a permanent increase of $175 million a year. The same amount of money got appropriated, but it was appropriated with one-time money. So we're going to go through this all again next year. The school districts can't plan, the teachers can't plan, the parents and the students can't plan. This is not any way to be running the railroad, or to be running the state of Alaska, to be taking care of our kids and our schools. We can do better.
Is there any way to fix this sort of divide we have right now? I feel like there's a huge divide between every party. You got the super far left, super far right. You're running as an independent, so you're trying to stay in the middle.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay.
There's no divide in Alaska.
All right.
If we focus on Alaska and Alaskans, we're all together. We all agree on almost everything.
Yes, we do.
And as far as I'm concerned, we're all part of the Alaska Party. And there is no divide in Alaska. Alaskans just want Alaska to work for them, to be a place where their hard work can lead to opportunity. And everybody agrees on that.
100%. You can't argue with that. We all want to have a future up here for the next 20, 50, 60 years, generations to come. With that being said, ranked choice voting is doing a damper and a bunch of stuff in the last year or two, right? What are your feelings on ranked choice voting? Do you think we should repeal it, or are you happy with it?
Well, most people would look at my race 2 years ago and say, well, that guy probably, hates ranked choice voting, because as a result, it was ranked choice voting, the mechanism that caused me to lose. I was ahead on the first counting of the ballots, ahead by actually several points. It wasn't until the ranked choice votes, the second choice ballots were counted, that I came 112 votes short. But you know what? Ranked choice voting is a good program for Alaska. Alaskans like to have their voices heard. They like to have choices. They don't like to be shut out. We all want to be part of the process. We all want to participate. And open primaries and ranked choice voting allows every Alaskan to participate and have their voice heard right to the end.
Have you looked into any of the data on the repeal that ranked choice voting has came out with? Just to know both sides of the story, because
I have.
All right.
Yes, and I'm not persuaded.
Okay, I just was wondering,
Yes.
because some of the candidates I've asked have just, said, no, it's completely bad, but then they don't have an answer. Or you get the other version where we didn't even look at the data. And I feel like that's kind of,
Well, and as I said,
can't make a logical decision.
I'm Exhibit A for showing that it doesn't favor Democrats, it doesn't favor Republicans, it doesn't favor independents. It favors Alaskans. Alaskans get their voice heard. It caused me to lose, but I'm going to win.
You're still going to go for it.
I'm going to win, and I'm going to win this time.
That's great. Do you have any messages for the youth in this town that are going to be voting for, their candidate coming up, or don't know if they're going to vote? If you could get in front of them right now and say something, what would you say to them?
Yeah, no, I would say, kids, look at Alaska the way I did as a kid. When I graduated from high school here in 1973, I knew Alaska was a place where, number one, I could enjoy my freedom. I could enjoy the outdoors, the incredible scenery and activities that we have available. But most importantly, it was a place where I could make my own life and make a difference in life. And that's Alaska. And the reason you should vote for me is because that's the vision that I have. I know we can get back to that Alaska where young people look at it with excitement and go, this is too good to be true. This is a dream come true. I can come here, I can work hard, I can play hard, and I can make a difference in my life and the life of my neighbors.
Awesome. Well, good luck on your upcoming race.
I appreciate it.
Thanks
for taking your time.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
All right.